Hi, my name's Andy. I work at Backup as a wheelchair skills trainer and also manage the outreach and support team. I've got a T3 complete level of injury, so I've got no movement below my chest. And just now, I'm going to talk through a floor to chair transfer and then coming back from the floor into my chair, which is basically a reversal of the way that I get down onto the floor. So it's really good to get onto the floor. Obviously, if you want to like mess around with kids on the floor, or if you're out camping and you need to get down onto your sleeping mat on the ground, or if you just want to sit and have a picnic in the park, it's really useful to be able to get down on the floor. So the way that I would do it is first of all just reverse my chair a little bit, just so that my casters are pointing forward rather than backwards like that. So see, if I reverse, it just extends the wheelbase a little bit and makes the chair a little bit more stable. So coming down from the chair, what I do, put on my two brakes with my casters facing forwards. You can always just flip them with your hands a bit, just to make sure they're nice and stable. And first thing I do is take my feet off the foot plate and shuffle forward my seat so that my feet are nice and flat on the floor there. I get a few spasms, so usually what I do, just wait for them to calm down a little bit. Once they're calm, I can just be sitting on the edge of my seat there, just balancing. Got my left hand on the side of the chair, just to give me balance there as well. Now to get down onto the ground, what I'm going to do, I can't really just throw my hand right down there. So what I'm going to do is just work my hand down my leg and slowly lean forwards. So until I'm on the ground there. And then once my hand's on the ground, what I'm going to do is, in order to get my bum to lift off the seat, I'm going to throw my head away from the direction that I want my bottom to go. So I'm just going to throw my head, lean forwards, and use my spare hand just to drop down onto the floor there. Once you're on the ground, obviously you can move around. It's a great place to be, the ground, as it means that once you're on the ground, there's nowhere else to fall. So I always say it's the safest place to be if you're down here. So, I just bump shuffle around if I'm on the ground, if I need to move around a bit. And then what to do when I get back in my chair is basically to reverse exactly what we've done there. So what I'll do is I'll get my chair, I need to drag it around here a bit so you can see the chair. Again, I'll make sure that my casters are turned out to the front to make the chair more stable. Sometimes it's useful, if your brakes aren't that good, to get somebody to hold the chair behind so it doesn't roll away. Or you can even wedge it up against something if you want as well. But first of all, what I'll do is get my feet together, and I'm going to try and use my legs as a bit of spring almost to get back in the chair. I can't move my legs, but there's still a bit of spring in there, so I can use them as a lever for getting back in the chair. And the key for floor to chair, I think, is all about throwing your head the opposite way to which I want to go. And also the positioning is really, really important. So I've just got a little bit of space here between myself and the foot plate, but my feet are basically in a position so that once I'm sitting up in the chair, they'll be in a regular kind of position. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put one hand up here on the chair, just going to shuffle forwards. What I'm going to do is almost sit on my feet just for a minute, or I'll try and slow it down a bit. What I'll do, I'm going to rock forward with my head and away from my chair, and you're going to see it levers my bum back up in the air, and at that point I'm just going to pull the chair under me a little bit and sort of push myself back at the same time. So here goes, just leaning forwards, spasm there, and just pushing off the ground. Then again, once I'm in this position, I've got to again work my way back up into the chair. So I'll just again use my right hand, just work out my leg there, just push myself back in. I can put my feet back in the footrests, brakes off, and then I'm ready to head on and do whatever else I need to do. So that's floor to chair, quite one way of doing it. I think people all develop different ways of doing it. I find it easiest to go to my right hand side. Some people might find it easier going to your left. And and some people come directly up backwards as well. So I think it depends a bit what works for you. And you know, when I learned, certainly there was a lot of trial and error and practicing different techniques. And it took me, best part of a year probably to get the right technique nailed. So it is all about the practice. And you know, one thing to do is to think about like the surface that you're transferring onto as well. Make sure it's nice and soft for your skin there. But also as you're practicing, maybe putting down some cushions off the sofa or something like that to make the gap a bit smaller. Maybe take your cushion off your chair as well, just to make it easier while you're practicing. But do get in touch if you want to talk a bit more about floor to chair and different ideas, and we'll try and do some more videos for you on it as well. All right, thank you.